Hey, 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 it's Tia, baby, and I am back with another video. So, I've been hearing from supporters that, and I also saw for myself, that apparently another Selena album is being released in April, and a lot of you guys wanted my opinion about it. And one of my supporters has sent me the interview that Dictator did um, with one of the former record producers, or yeah, I think he was a former record producer of Capital MEI or something like that. He looks familiar, so apparently he knows the Quintanillas really well, and listening to him in the interview, the interviewer sounds like Dictator's ass kisser. Like that's what I got from him, the aura that I got from him, because he was just throughout the interview kept, you know, talking about, oh, I've read comments about hate comments about you, and I respond to them in saying you don't know the man. Oh, I cried when I read your book, especially um, when Selena was born and all of that. And I mean, he may have really cried, but I really felt like it was overly dramatic the way he, you know, expressed that part of him crying. Um, and also, he just kept trying to reassure everyone that Dictator was this awesome man, this lifesaver, this person that is just so extraordinary, to his family and all of that. Now, before I get into my opinion about that, I'm going to talk about this album. So, in this hour-long interview, half of it was in English, the other half was in Spanish. I was kind of falling asleep, and I was driving when I was listening to this interview. And the first 13 minutes of it, I think about the first 10 to 13 minutes of it, after that, it lost me. Like, because he started rambling about his book and about um the Los Dinos and how it was back in the 50s and segregation and all that, which I understand that was prevalent in that time. That was during, civil rights movement and all that. So I understand that. Okay. But what I want to talk about is this album. So in the interview, if you have not watched it, watch it if you don't want to hear it by me. But I will put it in the video, the segment that I'm going to talk about in the video. So this recording that I put in the video is him explaining what is going to be on the album and what, you know, changes or differences that ABCDFG added to it or took out. So here it is.
But my son worked on Selena's voice with the computers. And if you listen to it, she sounds on these recordings like she did right before she passed away.
Oh, wow.
And some of these songs were originally recorded when, like the first one, let me explain. The first one on the album will be a ballad, a beautiful ballad.
Okay.
And the original recording was recorded when Selena was 13 years old.
Wow.
But if you listen to it now, the same song with different arrangements, and the voice worked to where she sounds like right before she passed away. It's kind of amazing.
Yeah, and I heard it, and I was so touched because the quality of the work by AB and the quality of the work that comes out of Q Productions is always high. I know you're very demanding.
So, you guys heard it for yourselves. So, basically, one of the ballads or songs that he turned into a ballad is Selena singing at 13 years old, but with the help of technology, ABCDFG made her voice sound more mature as if she sang it as an adult. Um, and I really don't have nothing to say about it. Only thing, well, I do have something to say. Anything to get a buck, pretty much. Because I don't understand why would you. What is the purpose of changing her voice? To make it sound like as if she sang it as an adult. What is wrong with the original song? Why you just can't add that song, the original song, to the album and leave it alone? That's a classic. That would be considered a classic, and a treasure because it's a recording that she did as a child, and you don't really hear a lot of recordings of her as a child. You hear more of her recordings as a late teen, early 20s. That's it. So that would be like a diamond in the rough. So my advice to them is to leave it alone and just don't mess with it. Just keep it as is. But can't teach an old dog new tricks. So it is what it is. So that's what I feel about that. Okay. So then he said that he was changing some cumbia songs and turning them into ballads. The first thing I thought about, and he also said ABCFG was going to take off like some of the original sound from certain songs. And I think he said 3 songs and changed it to a different melody. And the first thing I thought about was CHRISPEREZ. If you don't know what that spelled, rewind it. So and listen slowly. But that's the first person that came to mind when he said that. Because I'm like, I bet those 3 songs were the songs that he did a solo guitar on. I know he did a solo guitar on on Camilla Floor. Was it Camilla Floor? No, it wasn't. Was it Camilla? No, it wasn't Camilla Floor. It was shoot, Fotos y Fotos y Fotos de Recuerdos and um you know, and it was another song. Bitty Bitty, I think it's Bitty Bitty Bum Bum. Yeah, those 3 songs and I'm sure he did it another one. I want to say he did the solo guitar on where did the feeling we used to know. I want to No, where did the feeling go? I'm sorry. I haven't heard that song in a minute. But I want to say he did that one because it is a solo guitar part in that song, and I always wondered, was that him or was that somebody else? Um, so I'm gonna assume that those were the songs that he's gonna change up because he did do that allegedly on Spotify. When I was looking, I did a video a year or 2 ago about the song Y'all Know, and I looked it up on every music streaming, almost every music streaming app, and I looked it up, and um all of the apps that I looked up, all of the streaming apps that I looked up, the sound was different. it was like they took his version out, the original beat melody out of it. And I thought that was really effed up of them to do that, or ABCDFG to do that. But I'm assuming that it's probably the songs that he did solo guitars on, because for some reason it's just like he just doesn't like Chris. And it's sad because Chris ain't do nothing to him but love his daughter and love on his daughter. Period. So that's my theory of it. It could be something totally different, but that's my theory. Because I'm like, why you keep coming out with albums? Now this is not the only artist that has done that. Plenty of artists have came out with albums that may have had like the club version, radio version, original version, and edited, and explicit version on a CD. I'm not rocking or knocking that part, but at least keep the original melody on there with it, and then add on the different melodies for that song after it. But just exiting it out altogether, what the hell? Why? So that's why I feel like that's my theory, that the three songs or the songs that he's going to switch up are probably the songs that Chris did the solo guitars on, because in my opinion, if he add those melodies to it, they have to get a piece of the pie, members of the band. And that's another reason why I feel, allegedly, I feel that they are changing the melody of these songs so the band members can't get any type of royalties to this album. That's my opinion about that. Because for what? Why are you changing the melody of something that she adored? She adored her band. That was her family. That was her everything, aside of her blood family and aside of her fans. So why would you change that on this album? Like, that doesn't make any type of sense. Like, if you're going to have a variety, at least keep the original and then add the variety with it. But make it as if it didn't exist is effed up. Okay, so enough with that album thing. I mean, because I can't really say, oh, why he coming out with another album. For one, it's not shocking. As long as he live, he probably gonna keep coming out with albums and albums and albums. Two, a lot of artists do that, so I will give him that. A lot of artists do that, dead or alive. So I can't knock that part. It's just the changing the melodies and all of that. It's unnecessary, and changing the voice is unnecessary. So enough with the album thing. Now, my opinion about the Dictator talking about, and I'm going to show the clip of that, of how he felt. He said at one point he did let a lot of the negativity get to him.
Yes.
And that shows how great the music was and what an amazing artist Selena is.
But you know what's so funny with social media today? I get criticized quite a lot.
I've noticed, and the thing is, I know you, and when I see the criticisms, I sometimes reply, I say, you don't know the man.
Yeah.
You don't know the man.
Well, a lot of the public, the common public, doesn't know anything about music contracts.
Yes.
That some of these contracts from the record companies that were signed 26 years ago when Selena was alive, they're still alive today. Those contracts are still good.
Sure.
So the public doesn't understand that under the contracts, here's something that the public has never known, that the contracts were never for Selena by herself. There was 4 partners in the contract.
Okay.
Avi, Suzette, Selena, and me. There were 4 partners.
Okay.
From day one, when I started with them, we were on the road with Selena and the group when Selena was 9 years old.
From people saying this and this and this about him. And he said he doesn't worry about it anymore. And then the guy, the kiss asser, pretty much was defending him as if he was this hero. Now, this is what I'm saying. And this is what and it's funny that I'm mentioning this because someone posted this on Facebook earlier today. If more than one person is saying the same thing about you, then 9 times out of 10, it's true. I am not the first, nor have I been the last, and nor will I be the last to say these things about this man. Pretty much thousands and thousands of people have said about the same stuff about this man, and these are people that that actually personally know him, people that have just seen him in passing, people that have came in contact with him through in life, people that may not know him and just read what they read on the internet or in the news or whatever on social media. Nobody's gonna lie on you. And then two, he's not making himself look good in the public eye. Cause mind you, the interviewer, the person that I'm not even gonna say, I'm not gonna call him no more names. The interviewer, the one that kept defending him, obviously he's so focused on the hate comments that people were sending at Dictator. But was he not paying attention to the rants that the Dictator was sending off to people that were in his life and fans and all of that? Did he just skip over that? Because Dictator is famous for, if he allegedly writing 3-page reports or essays on what Selena y Los Dinos did and what Selena did and what he did and what he do this and this and this and this, and bashing other people that helped him along the way, like Chris and other band members and other artists, Tano artists. He was bashing allegedly, but it was in my video because I even took the screenshot of it in one of my videos. Go check it out. Don't remember which one it is. There's so many of them. He was bashing La Mafia, going back and forth with him on Facebook, allegedly. He went after Chris plenty of times. He also went after members of, allegedly, of Selena y Los Dinos. For what? For no apparent reason at all. These are people that love Selena, that adored her, that supported her, and all he did was try to make it a competition and bash them, allegedly. Because I gotta keep saying that to keep myself protected. But it was plain as day on his Facebook account and all of that. And I'm just like, so how else other people are going to get a perception of him? Because look at what he's done on social media. He claimed, he already said it. He turned 83 years old. An 83-year-old acting like a 23-year-old on social media, coming after people. That make it make sense, Dictator. Make it make sense, because it doesn't. Also, another reason why people are, coming at him is because he comes off as money hungry. Every other chance he get, he comes out with Selena stuff, merchandise that Selena, in my opinion, would not vouch for. It's just like he just find any old type of piece of clothing and just slap her face on it, and find gadgets and slap her name on it. And then, with the legal things, dealing with, the series, then it will dealing with Chris Book, dealing with, the movie, dealing with Chris trying to put out a series of his own and him trying to stop it and all of this because he's not profiting off of that. So he doesn't want anybody else to. And it's just like, so how do you expect people to perceive you as when you come off as greedy, you come off as, you know, trying to intimidate people, a bully basically. You come off as just mean and dictating, as the reason why I call him the dictator. So he has shown and validated each and every person's opinion about him. So nobody's picking on him, nobody's lying on him. This is the things that he's showing to the public, and we are just reacting or responding or have an opinion or just a feeling about him and his sidekicks, Susie Q and ABCDFG. They have done nothing but made a mockery of Selena's legacy.
Is going to love the work, and mainly because I know that your mission and your family's mission is to keep Selena's memory alive.
Well, I said that right after she passed away, that I was going to try to keep her memory alive through her music. And I think that we have done that,
Yes, you have.
26 years later, Selena is very present in today's music world.
And made nothing but a donkey out of themselves. And also they made nothing but they just came off as clowns. Like, come on. Come on. And people want to often compare him to Joe Jackson. Now, I can understand why, because they have similar upbringings, meaning Joe Jackson, and I've mentioned this in another video, that Joe Jackson and Dictator grew up in the South. They also had a band that did not get off the ground. They also were Jehovah Witnesses, and they also were like the dictator of their family. Whatever he say goes. Um, they were very strict, and they came from nothing. So I can see the similarities of that part. The differences is Joe Jackson was misunderstood in the public for many years because of how he pushed his kids to stardom and how, he wouldn't, allow his kids to play outside. He preferred them to practice, similar to Dictator. Understandable. Yes, people have said over the years, including myself, that Joe Jackson allegedly was physically abusive to his kids. Allegedly. But we don't know that for sure because most of his kids said that wasn't true. Now, granted, Michael Jackson has stated that he got us, he hit them with a switch. But I don't recall Michael Jackson ever saying that Joe Jackson was, you know, abusing him or anything. So I don't think that that's true. I think that that's just okay. I'm not accepting that behavior, but culturally, in the African American culture, sparing the rod is not, that was just a part of our culture. Now, it's ways to is if you take it to another level, then yeah, that can be considered that. But I don't think that's what Joe Jackson did and was about. And he was old school. And I'm not justifying it. I'm just saying I don't think that's what he was. Two, he did not Granted, his kids fired him as the manager and let Barry Gordy take over Motown and all of that. But he still had some say so in their careers, even as adults. But he never like exploit his kids um, in their careers. Like he did not. Um, he didn't keep coming out with merchant because even though he wasn't no longer the manager for Michael, when Michael passed away, he could have used that opportunity to come out with, you know, Michael Jackson paraphernalia or um, trying to advocate for more music or unreleased music. He didn't do any of those things. So he didn't. Every other chance you get, you didn't hear Joe Jackson in the news in reference to Michael Jackson this and Michael Jackson that, and coming out with this and coming out with that, coming out with this movie, coming out with that movie. No, he didn't do any of these things. Not that I have recalled, not that I heard of. So he didn't come off to me as money hungry. Yes, he did implanted his dreams as a musician onto his kids, but um he was controlling of Janet. If you have not checked out Janet's documentary, go and do so because I did see a lot of Selena and Janet when it came to her dynamic, when it came to Janet's dynamic with her father. That's what I said. I can understand why a lot of people see the similarities, but Dictator took it and ran with it and still running with it to this day. Joe Jackson, after he done got let go of his managerial duties, you ain't hear much about him anymore. He just was, you know, soaking in the roots of, the money that he was earning and all of that. So yeah. But I think that's pretty much it about, oh yeah, the book. He was talking about the book. I didn't care to hear. I turned it off after a while because it was getting boring and they started speaking too much Spanish and I wasn't trying to keep up with it, and I didn't care to hear about the book because I don't care to read it, nor do I really want to read it. The only reason why I would read it to get more content, but I really don't care to know about his story because I just don't care. And that doesn't mean, that's not me being mean, it's just me being honest. So I'm not a fan of his, so why would I care to know about his story? Period. But yeah, they started going on and on about the book. Don't plan on reading it. So yeah. That's pretty much it so far. I will continue reading chapter 4 next week because I have a lot of stuff on my plate, you know, still in school, you know, midterm week, you know, working 2 jobs and being a mother, new mother, and amongst other things. And yeah, so it took a lot out of me to do this video because, you know, exhaustion of, you know, just of daily things and stuff. So I said I was gonna come out with one and I did. So yeah, that's all I have for today, and I will see you guys next week. Peace.